fun with these mixed things, you know, that all come together. I also really like this. This is a little croissant bag from, I think, Italy, without grease on it. Oh, 2007. Sandwich. And vomit bags. So this is what happens when you're completely obsessive and you can't just recycle your garbage, you have to do something with it. You know? Being an artist, you also get a lot of stuff sent to you that's kind of beautiful, you know, not just your average junk mail. So you get your average junk mail, which some of those are my favorites, but you also get some stuff that's extra special. And then some stuff comes from where I work, like I teach at SUNY Purchase, and there's a letterpress there, and lots of really good garbage is generated there. Just picking it up from the floor on a daily basis. Now, how can you throw that out? It was easier in the beginning because I had a lot to work with. It gets a little harder when the scraps get when I have meager quantities of scraps, because you never know what to look at this, but it's all very conscious, and it's decided. You'd never guess that, because it's also unconscious at the same time. But
so the binder's made for like putting your presentation together for the
and staples, you know,
for the insurance training seminar.
Yeah, it's really cheesy, and you're also not supposed to put uneven amounts of stuff in. When you do this kind of binding,
yes.
Sometimes it doesn't work too well because I have really uneven.
You sure do.
You know, there's stuff sticking out, and there's all weird sizes, and there's plastic, and there's, you know, all kinds of junk, cellophane. So sometimes it doesn't want to work. You know, so I got a little better at it over the years. My old Ford Escort, it was my car until about a week ago. No, about a month ago. I taught yoga in Hoboken in the 90s. Actually, still in the driveway. And the parking, and some of the parking things, the parking struggles. Well, the reason I think I do this is because I just can't stop, actually. Once I start working on something, it's really hard to not bring it to fruition. And in this case, I think I've got some more years coming if I can bear it, because I think I need to have at least 1,000 books, and I'm only under 500. Well, you know, when I first started this, I had a cabinet that I got from an old cabinet, you know, old metal one, like the type that people used to put food in, and I got it especially for this, and I actually paid for it, like $15, you know. I bought it from my locksmith, and he drove it to my house, and I always thought I would just fill the entire cabinet with, you know, decades and decades of garbage. But that was carefully collated, sorted, put together in a beautiful way, made into something artistic, numbered, labeled, you know. It's almost like a historical document, and it's funny. And postcards from people, artists' shows, lists, shopping lists, little notes that people write to each other, all related to me in some way, but there's a lot of people, so it would be the story of a lot of people.
Ordinary life is not ordinary at all.
No, and I would say that most of my art tries to talk about the wonders of the so-called ordinary in a very extraordinary sort of way, because just like unrecognized labor, you know, there's those things that people do that don't get recognized. There's all sorts of things that the so-called average person does, or unrecognized people, I hate that word average, unrecognized people do that is magnificent.
Well, each scrap is some work that someone took some pride in.
Yeah, a lot of pride sometimes. Some of it's more casual, and some of it's just commercial too. So we have a little bit of everything.
Commercial stuff. Somebody had to bake it and something about making it either please them, or they were either bored with it because they wanted to be working on something else,
right?
Or they were proud of it because their boss told them it was a good job.
Right, they had somebody had to design that Ritz cracker box, you know, and an artist. It's usually an artist that did that, and somebody had to, you know, even there's photographs thrown in there, there's postcards, there's all kinds of things in there. So there's little things that you have to live through as a human that you wouldn't even document, you wouldn't even remember perhaps. But this like physical matter, this piece of paper is a part of that. It's like a little souvenir of the everyday.
You've transformed it from being the stuff that your roommate or your spouse or your lover says, why do you have this here? Get rid of it.
Yeah.
You've transformed it.
And in the end, it's like sometimes there is like a conscious design thing too going on. I'll cut them down, I'll trim them, you know, there is something. And so suddenly they go from being something that you really have to get in the garbage now to something that, this is, I think, a little nuts though, the thing that now you must save and insure in the exhibit and take good care of, well, relatively good care of. So it suddenly becomes ridiculously, you know, more precious than it was before. Yet at the same time, we're like, if this is not put up a certain way, somebody's going to think it's garbage and it could end up in the dumpster. But this way, you would never, I mean, there's a real beauty to it. And believe me, putting this up took days because everything was conscious. It was not casual at all. Like everything else I do, nothing is casual, even though this looks like it got exploded out of a cannon, and it was intentional. I would run out the door every 2 minutes, off the ladder, out the door, to go outside because it looks so cool from outside, especially when it's dark. It looks beautiful, and it's like an explosion of stuff. So when you're up close, you see all the detail, but when you go far away, it's like a sculpture, it's a form. And
well, as you said before, it's like the more when you try to take an objective look at something you're doing, and the crazier it is, those are the things that work, as you said before.
I know.